I am Nick. I'm a model designer for LEGO Ideas, and I worked on the LEGO Ideas Voltron Defender of the Universe set. So this Voltron model is basically 5 individual sets that you then later put together, which is completely different from what we've done before, so I like that a lot.
It's 5 lions and they fly through space and then they come together and they make just this huge, ridiculous robot. And it's just cool. Who doesn't love giant robots?
Originally, this idea was submitted by a guy named Lenny69 on LEGO Ideas, and he actually he designed the original LEGO Voltron model. As a fellow fan builder, I was familiar with this work before this actually reached 10,000 builds, so he builds all the big super robot models, and I'm a big super robot fan, so I like his work a lot. I think Lenny will be quite pleased with this product. We've been talking about it off and on about especially the aesthetic and the finishing touches for the model, that we tried to make sure that they were as close to the TV show as possible.
It's a little intimidating working with cartoons like this because you know it's got such a huge fan base and you don't want to be the guy that gets it wrong, so you need to get it right.
Part of the starting up process for this model was making sure that we could make something this size, make sure the mechanisms work and make sure all the individual pieces work individually as well as part of the bigger robot. It's over 1.5 kilos of Lego resting on 2 legs, so that's a bit scary. I needed to find a way to connect the upper leg to the lower leg of Voltron in a way that allows us to easily pop it off, as well as strong enough to hold the weight of the full model. In order to create that, I combined 2 different Lego connections that each have their own strengths and weaknesses that kind of work towards each other, and that way I managed to create a joint that's both very strong from a pulling point of view and from a rotating point of view.
The collaboration with Nick was good because I would try and get familiar again with the cartoon, any excuse to watch the cartoons. We were originally planned to graphic the face and the chest, and then as the model progressed, then a lot of the elements were brick built, so we ended up needed to do that, which is fine because it looks better. I'm quite proud of the 2x2 round tile that we printed because it's got a mechanical detail on it, which it's specific for this Voltron set, but it's also quite universal. So I'm hoping that it will stay alive and it will pop up in other sets.
So the biggest challenge, I think, in this model is making sure the arms hold up, because each of the arms is many, many pieces, much more than any other LEGO mech would ever have. So I had to engineer a bunch of different elbows, wrists, and particularly shoulder joints. We went through so many versions, it's ridiculous. I would at some point wake up in the middle of the night and just quickly grab my laptop because I had a new idea for a shoulder, so I'd quickly put it together on my computer so I wouldn't forget it, and hopefully go back to sleep again. This project's been it's been very exciting for me to work on. I like it a lot.
We decided to include the sticker sheet because then it gives fans the option to have the numbers on the lions, because on the original Japanese one, the lions didn't have numbers, but on the American one, it did. So now fans can choose.
In order to capture some of the old school toy feel for Voltron, we ended up drum lacquering quite a bunch of pieces. Like that doesn't happen very often, so I saw it as a great opportunity to actually color change a whole bunch of really interesting building elements to this drum lacquer metallic color, which is very shiny. It's definitely a very unique building experience because we made sure that each of the different lions has its own instruction booklet, and then we have one instruction booklet for the transformation specifically. So you can build it with your friends if you want to. You can each build one lion and together form the Voltron. Don't
let your friends help. I know Nick said, yo, you could build it with your friends, but no. This is a big set and you want to enjoy it. Keep it. I'm not going to let anyone else build mine. This is mine and I'm going to build it.
When I was about 3 or 4, I knew I wanted to be a LEGO designer because I saw this one book which had a picture of a bunch of LEGO designers sitting around a table, and I was like, that's the thing, that's what I want to do. So from that point on, I kind of planned my education and my future, and I studied industrial design and got an internship here. Then after that was done, I got hired here as a designer at LEGO.
My advice for anyone who would want to be a graphic designer for Lego is to just keep making artwork that you love and are super passionate about, because that's what shows when you apply for a job here or in anything.
As a person who came here from always wanting to be here, there's only really one piece of advice I can give, and that is believe in yourself. Never give up. If there's an obstacle, you bust through it. Do anything you can. Is that good? Is that right? That felt right.
So when I was a kid, I tried to build my own Voltron with just bricks, no complicated Technic parts that's available now. 25 or so years later, it was great to work on the official Lego Voltron, and I just love the way it just comes full circle, and I'm very excited to be a part of it.